A native of Kerala opened her eyes. It was a fine morning in 1997 and she was still in her bed. She came back after a routine hysterectomy surgery and she tried to stand up. She found that she couldn't stand up and she had a free-falling experience. She wondered. Somehow she managed to call a doctor and fixed an appointment the next day. The next day, at the clinic, when she stood up, all others observed that she was looking as if she was standing on a precipice about to plummet. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
We have senses which we underestimate until we realize them only when we use them. Balance is such a sense. We don't count even among the 5 senses, but very important. But only when we use them, we understand its importance. We have vestibular system which manages sensory communication to the nervous system, and the nervous system controls the eye movements which helps us to balance. In the case of this Cheryl Sticks, what happened is that her vestibular apparatus was damaged. To avert her woes, the doctors, after diagnosing, told her that it's a permanent damage. It can't be cured. She consulted Paul Bakirika, a rehabilitation physician and a scientist. He introduced her his newly invented biomedical device called accelerometer, which will look like a helmet, and an electrode will be applied or introduced into the tongue of the patient. What happened is that after applying and even after removing it, the electric signals produced by this accelerometer had a residual effect on the patient, and with the help of that, the Cheryl Sticks could manage well. To cut a long story short, she felt better. What happened and how did she manage? This all things has been introduced, briefly described in the book called Brain That Changes Itself, written by Doidge. What Doidge says that this is the capacity of the brain, that it's the rewiring capacity. When one thing is damaged, the brain uses another path to rewire itself to better. One neuron is damaged. This was using something else, some purpose, but the neuron can also accommodate, help the neuron to improve the patient. That's what happened in the case of Cheryl Sticks. So this term is called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the term we hear from 1969 onwards. What really is neuroplasticity? Neuro, you know that it is related to nerve cells or the nervous system. Plasticity is for malleability, manageability, and adaptability. So neuroplasticity is the word we use for the adaptive power of the brain to differ to the different circumstances. From the 1969, we have several journals, including the prominent journals like Nature has published that neuroplasticity is the miracle, the ability of the brain of rewiring capacity of the brain to reorganize itself. In 2015, this Paul Bakirika, the same scientist, has introduced equipment with using the same type of that electrode. Using the electrode and the equipment, even the visual cortex has been stimulated. That means it will going to help the blind people to see. You all know that we have 200 billion neurons in our brain. How many population we will have in the world? Hardly 8 billion. If we count the numbers in the galaxy, the interconnection between these neurons would be more than that. So we carry this wonderful equipment wherever we move, and the thinking, the process even affects the brain's ability. That means if we use a different, say I am using a non-dominant hand to comb my hair, and different route to go to my office, or using a different grocery shop, or I am interacting with beautiful people like you, the intelligent people like you, that all will affect my brain. So, my dear friends, when you say that a word like think out of box or learn a new trick, you will be enriched and bedazzled by it that you are at neuroplasticity at work.